Patreon.com, love the boys, support the boys, and the only way to do that is with your hard-earned cash, and the best cash that you can possibly get given is the cash that someone gives you. £2 a month, £3.50 a month, £5 a month, and £10 a month. Help us keep this Fiat 500, this defunct, whatever it is, a Prius, moving down the motorway. Xbrain.co.uk, enter promo code Fighting Words to save 20% off your order at checkout on any and all Xbrain related products. And finally, our boys, our long-term sponsor, Market Squawk, powered by Live Squawk, for all of your on-demand data needs, any financial asset class. Come and go as you please. Market Squawk, powered by Live Squawk. We're joined today by someone that has been lurking around for a while. We nearly had him in on one of the live streams as an intro, which is what I'm all about, because when you get them in, everyone gets to see the energy, everyone gets to spend a lot of time, and it's a good bonding experience. We will do that, and we will get that. But we have Deevorn Miller. How you doing, big man?
I'm good. I'm good. How are you?
I'm very well. Thank you for joining us. I'm really excited to have you on. I'm glad we got this finally over the line, because like I just find you just an interesting dude. Like, obviously, big man, cruiserweight. Like, you can see how big you are. At one point, you're gonna have to go to heavyweight. We know that. That's fact. But I just think, like I'm saying, like 4 fights in, it's time for people to start understanding you, knowing you, seeing you, and the floor is yours, my man. Run me through the background. Why did you start fighting? Give it.
It's been a journey. It's been a journey. Originally, I wanted to box as a little boy when I was about 5 or 6.
Yeah.
But my mum, she just refused. She was like, "Nah."
Same. Right. And then I thought, you know what I'll do? I'll do a concession, because it was the 80s. Karate. They're like, oh, very cool. You can wear the
I done
karate.
karate.
Yeah. They wouldn't let me do karate. They wouldn't let me do striking. They put me in judo. And you're just like, it's kind of, I got the outfit, sort
Yeah.
of.
It's not the same.
No.
But yeah. Then she was like, "Nah, I don't want you to get hit in your face. You
Yep.
ruined your face." So then I was like, I kind of just forgot about it.
Yep.
As I got a little bit older, one of my older brothers, he boxed in the army.
Okay.
So I kind of saw a little bits and bobs. And then it wasn't until like, I think I was 20, my friend was doing a white collar. And then he
Yeah.
invited me to join. And then after that, didn't stop.
You kind of went down the white collar route. That's a
Only
bit of
had
a,
only had 2 white collars. Only had
yeah,
two.
yeah, yeah. But
Yeah.
it's kind of kept quite quiet, that. So, like, how much amateur background did you have?
Um I had about 14, 15, 16 fights.
That's not bad.
Not a lot, but
No.
I broke my hand and I had a lot of pullouts and stuff. So I didn't really get as many as I would have wanted.
Yeah. So, as like an up and coming pro, run me
Hmm.
through, like, do you have to have a day job? Are you very fortunate to have sponsors that keep you going? Like, how do you pursue this dream whilst
Yeah,
living life?
it's a mixture of things. So I was a business. I kind of had like businesses and investments.
Yes.
When I first kind of started boxing.
Yeah.
So I used to run like a restaurant and a bar.
Yeah.
Opened up with one of my friends, and then I boxed on the side. So I was
Nice.
doing both, and then post like lockdown, all of that's
Yeah.
rubbish. That closed down, and ever since then I've just been focusing solely on boxing. I do a little bit of PTs and stuff here and there, and I train out of and coach out of Bronx.
Yeah.
But other than that, focus on boxing.
So you're self-funded, you're pushing through. So, all
Yeah,
right. So,
not easy. It's
no,
not easy.
it definitely ain't
It's
easy.
not
Like,
easy at all.
I unfortunately lost my businesses as well due to COVID. So I was a PT. It's one of them things, right? You kind of just
Yeah,
you take it on the chin, you carry on going.
yeah,
Um, right. So, from that perspective, you've turned pro, you've turned over. What is fascinating is, obviously, you took an L on the first fight, and that hasn't determined, like, it hasn't dissuaded you in any way whatsoever. And, like, I cannot wait for you to join the list of the elite fighters that lost their first fight, right?
yeah.
So run me through that. What happened? What were you feeling? Like, you come away
It,
after that, you're like, oh, mate.
it's a mixture. So there's a lot back behind it.
Run us through.
So had my debut set up
Yep.
at heavyweight because I couldn't find a cruiserweight to fight. Queen passed,
Right.
and my fight got cancelled, whatnot. I was like,
Yep.
fair enough. Bit angry, but what
Yep.
can we do? Rest in peace, Lizzie. Then
Rest in peace.
then I kind of knocked it in the head and I went out. I was out on a Saturday, this with my friend.
Really? Yep.
We went out chilling, got a call from a manager. We've got a fight. We've got an offer next week. So I was like, okay.
Okay.
And he's like, what are you weighing at the moment? I was like, well, about 97, 90, 97, 98. I was meant to fight
Unit.
heavyweight, bearing in mind.
Unit. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Then he's like, oh, they only want you at cruiserweight. I was like, oh, who is it? And I heard the name. It rang a bell in my head. And then I was like, oh, I know him actually. Yeah, let's take it. And
Yeah, yeah.
then they told me I have to make like 90, 91 kilos. So I was a bit skeptical. Um,
So you had to drop 7 kilos in a week.
yeah. Then but I was just desperate to get my
Your
debut.
debut.
If
Yeah.
you I don't know if you followed me then, but
Yeah, I did.
I had four pullouts or four fall throughs prior to that. So
Yeah.
now I was like quite desperate to have it. Learn from your mistakes as
You were
well.
worried that we were going to say pause it, wasn't it?
Then yeah, it was it was yeah, basically ran through that week.
Yeah.
I got down a little bit lower in weight, so now I was like, yeah, definitely I can make it.
Yeah.
Blah blah blah. It was same day weigh-in though as well. But there's
Okay.
a lot to learn. There's a lot to
Of
learn about
course.
the pro game. So in that side of it, um, I sparred him as well previous. So we had a fight in amateurs.
Yeah.
I had I think it was like my fourth fight, and he had about 12 fights. I
Okay.
lost some points. So then and then I sparred him about a year before our pro fight.
Yeah.
The spar went totally different to our fight.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh yeah, like it should be a good fight. So on the basis of all of that, I was like, yeah, I'll accept it. Fell short. If you watch the fight, it was a good fight.
Yeah.
If it was a 6 rounder, it would have went differently. We instantly asked for the rematch. They refused it, and then they said they won't be fighting me again unless they're forced to mandatorily. Like,
Okay.
so,
Well, it just means that you got to force them now, isn't it?
yeah, so I'll force the card hopefully next year,
Yeah.
and then run it back over 10.
All right. So, I mean, like, it didn't hurt you at all. You're just like, look,
Not
these things happen.
not really. Like literally, I was whatnot. I was pissed,
Yeah.
but as soon as I like got out, I was like, boom, boom, boom. I know what I need to do. Like it wasn't a thing of like questioning myself or anything like that. Literally went straight back to training the next day. Got back on, got the call. When can I fight? And then I think I did that. I think I had another pull out on that next one, and then I got and then I got a fight. Um, and then yeah, everyone knows what my last three fights have been like. So
Fact. So
yeah.
when it comes to now, like, where do you see yourself going now? Obviously to the top. Obviously we
Mhm,
know that because if you're not aiming high enough, you're going too low, right? That's how this works,
mhm.
right? You're in combat sports. You're a boxer. You're a big dude. You're a smart guy, clearly, right? What is driving you to do this? Because it sounds like essentially from the beginning, like you got lots of options. This is something that's just in you, and you need to do this.
I like doing multiple things though. Like just focusing on boxing wise, I'll still always be
Yeah,
driven in my boxing goals, but I have so many other goals at the same time, and I like being busy. So even after I finish training,
yeah,
I'm doing something else. Like before training, I'm doing something. So I'll do things outside of it. Um, but I've always just liked to like the challenge. So I feel like boxing is always pushing you for new challenges. So
yeah.
it's very good.
So from the perspective of someone that's sub 5 fights, how are you selling tickets? How are you getting your name out there? Like, what are you doing as someone that's clearly very switched on?
Mm,
What is it? Because this is the thing that I always find so fascinating with like the up and coming fighters. Like you know, we've all got mates that are selling tickets the week of the fight. They're running around. They're running themselves ragged just to make like the minimum quota. We had one of our mates fight on the Wasserman card as a co-main the other day. He had to sell
mm,
200 tickets to even kind of be on
to
there, and
get
that's
on there.
exactly, and that's a co-main.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
So as you know, the boxing game in and out already is
Mm.
yeah in UK anyway. It's a mess.
It's
So
different, isn't it? It
it's
just doesn't seem
very.
to work how it should do.
Whenever I tell a casual or someone about the setup of like a ticket seller boxer, they're
Yeah,
like, "What?"
yeah,
And then you still don't get all of it. And they're just like, "No, this doesn't make sense."
yeah. You get like you're not getting it. Like I tell you what is the most like shocking one for me is when someone has to pay the opponent to fight them. That's
That's
the
that's
that's
in
madness.
that's in every single ticket deal.
Yeah,
That's not one option. That's not like a one off. That's nearly everyone.
it's
Like even
nuts.
if you don't directly pay them,
Yeah,
that through that ticket money or through your purse, they're being paid. So
this is
it
it, right?
ultimately everyone you're always paying it.
Or
Yeah,
you're doing a
Um,
Dan Aziz and you're taxing opponents to and from the ring.
Crazy.
yeah. You had to pay the opponent and then drive the opponent back to the airport. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? Because no one else is doing it for him. It's just
yeah.
like,
I've seen that. I've seen that happen on like 2 fights ago. That happened. One of the guys who was on the same card. The guy he's fighting was on the phone to him saying, "Can you book me my cab now from the airport to get to the fight?" I was just like,
this is madness. How is this a thing?
this it's a mess. So ultimately, back to your question,
Yeah.
I'm similar to like the similar to Dan Aziz actually.
Yep.
Like his approach or the Dillian White approach. So like sometimes you tell as much tickets as you can, you promote yourself as you can, as much as you can. If
Hmm.
you fall short on something, then I pull the money from somewhere else, pay whatever I need to pay. I know where I'm gonna go with it.
Mm.
So it's kind of investing in myself and saying I'll get that back in double. So
I love that. I love that.
yeah.
Now, where does that see? Now, where does that come? Is that just something that's just been brought up in you? Because that's something that is backing yourself to the nth degree, 100%. But there's also having that to have to be able to get access it to
Mm.
use it. That's the thing.
Yeah. I suppose it's been just going through school and developing and just picking up little tactics, being around certain people,
Yeah.
you end up kind of molding into who you are, and that's just created me, I guess. Southeast London.
So, when are you due out next? That's the big question.
Uh,
Is that up in the air at the minute?
so I have a October the 14th date given
Yep.
to me. I've accepted it, but no opponent.
Okay.
Um, but I potentially might have a fight in September abroad.
Nice.
So
Oh, another away day.
another away day.
Do you mind that, or is it just it's all
Ah,
down for the experience and it's all good
down for the
times?
experience though. So I don't know if you know, I had a fight in Poland a couple of weeks back.
Hmm.
um, but I didn't have a camp.
Yeah.
So if I'm having a fight in September and it's with a camp, like, yeah, I'm fine. I love it. I love traveling.
How was Poland? Because like TKV said it was amazing, but also like he's standing out like a sore thumb, right? Poland
We
is.
spoke about it.
Did you?
Yeah. I like Jamie, man. We
Yeah,
spoke.
yeah, yeah. Did you have a very similar experience?
No. So I was on the border. I was near Czech Republic kind of.
Yeah,
So we was in the mountains. So it wasn't really much popping.
yeah. Okay.
He was in like the center.
Yeah,
So
yeah, yeah. He was
he's
in
a bit
Warsaw, wasn't
more
he?
like there's a lot of people. I went to the center, but I didn't stay there. So it was all right. It was like the people was very nice, very
Hmm.
accommodating. Um, yeah, and I had a couple of people looking at me like, oh, what's this guy doing? But like the resort where we was eating and staying next to, yeah, like all of them knew why I was there and things like that. So
Yeah,
they treated us very well. The chef loved us. So
I bet he
yeah,
did.
it was
You,
nice.
you can't have like giant professional fighters and as a chef and be like, well, obviously I've got to get the big steaks out and I've got to get the big boys, man.
There's always asking us like, how much do you want? Do you want more? This, that. Yeah, they're nice. They're good.
Right, are you got a promotional deal at the minute then?
No, no promotional deal.
Now, how do we see now? This is the question, right? What do we need to do to get you from no promotional deal to a promotional deal, and what are the blockers that you've seen in getting that? Because it's not like getting a record deal,
Mm,
because promoters will pick people up for fun, but also it seems a lot harder to a lot of people that seem like they should have a promotional deal to me.
No, some of it is knowing the right people. Network is your net worth, as they say.
Yeah,
That's half of it, and then well, that's one side of it. Then obviously there's the draw and the publicity side of it. The bigger
yep.
draw you are, the bigger like um people you reach, and people gonna automatically, even if you're not good, people will sign you up.
Yeah,
And then there's the other side of it of they want to fight to get to a certain stage, and then they want to crop you in, similar
yeah,
to like Hara Davis. Like
yeah.
he's been a free agent for how long? Get to the world title stage.
All of a sudden, he's got Oscar on the phone, isn't he?
Like,
You know what I
yeah,
mean?
man. So yeah, it is what it is. I don't know when it's gonna happen. I haven't really had any
Mm.
strong talks. I had talks before I turned pro about
Yeah,
with pros. And then after I turned pro, I haven't really had any thought on it.
I like your style. How do you feel with well, like with the small hall shows and things like that? Like it seems, I don't want to say lawless, but it seems a bit wild, right? From your perspective, after boxing, can you see yourself maybe cleaning things up a little bit, running shows, kind of almost doing like the Dean White approach, but not as Dean White?
Yeah. We have so many conversations in our little boxing group chat
Yeah, I
of
bet
like
you do.
of what isn't,
Yeah.
and what not. And I feel like it's just too hard. Like there's a thing of you can go in there and try to do a little thing, but I
Hmm.
feel like ultimately the whole thing needs a breakdown and a rebuild, or they need a one sanctioning body who everyone needs to answer to, because there's different rules in different countries.
Hmm.
There's boxers doing certain things and other boxers not. It's just like, who do you answer to,
Yep.
and who gets the blame, or like each country does their own thing.
Of course it
So
does.
it's just like, no, I feel like it's too much to tackle on your own. Like maybe if there was a board
Mm.
and it was like everyone joins together, then yeah, I'd be up for that. But
But even then, we've seen a lot of issues with, like, for example, our board. We've seen
mhm,
over the past 18 months, we've seen some wild shit. It wasn't
yeah,
that long ago we see some geezer on his phone during the fight who's meant to be a judge, right?
apparently they came
With,
back out and said it wasn't a phone.
I mean, it was
Uh,
quite. You know what I mean? Like, it's like, hey, we can say it wasn't a phone, but it definitely was, mate. It was definitely like, were you on Betfred? What were you doing? You can say it. What was it? If it wasn't a phone, it was a black piece of glass that lit up when you were touching it, mate. Like, what else would it have been?
I don't know what they said,
You
but
know what
yeah,
I mean? Right? You got co-main events that are judged by the referee, which seems wrong to me. You got
yeah, I don't really understand that.
all manner of scandalous verdicts going on, all manner, like it's getting to the stage now where we've seen it, like even on these shores where the board itself looks like it's primed to be not taken out but maybe replaced or usurped, and that, you know, there was all that stuff with Conor Ben about like Simon Jordan doing something. It's never going to
Mm,
happen because the board is the board, and you would need so much power, so much sway, and so much, you would almost have to pay fighters to come and join your regulatory body,
yeah,
and it's just never going to
crazy,
happen.
crazy.
I mean, just like, do you just think it's a case of like, it's such an old sport, it's such a primal sport that there's always going to be openings, there's always going to be something that is there, and
Yeah,
we just
I
kind of
don't, I don't
just
think
deal
you
with it?
ever can clean it up. I think you can try to get it up to a better standard, but I feel like there's always going to be opportunists and people who just don't really care about the like the foundation. As long as they're getting paid,
Yeah.
they're good.
All right. Well, absolute pleasure. We're going to have you on again before September. Nice little intro, nice little banger to let everyone know. What are your socials? Where can people find you? Where can they get in touch with you?
Deevorn Miller on nearly everything.
Yeah, at Devon Miller. There it is. So we'll put it all in the show notes. Thank you so much for joining us, big man. And we'll see
No
you soon,
problem.
yeah?
See you later. Have a good one, yeah.